Hi, it's Joanna here, and I'm creating content for you about emotional alignment life coaching. So, I've been creating content to build another new channel, which is a personal development and life coaching channel. And the first thing that I'm creating content about is emotional alignment life coaching. You see, after I was interviewed by Dave Mack, I received a request for a life coaching session from Virginia. And she had great success in her first session. She came with a 5-month weight loss stall as a problem. And she reported to me 5 weeks after the session, where we were finally able to catch up again. She reported that the weight loss stall had broken and she'd lost 6 pounds in the 5 weeks. The great thing about emotional alignment life coaching is that it's not about consciously training you to behave in a different way. It's quite the opposite. We dive deeply into your history to find out at what point in time and what happened to train your subconscious to give you instructions to do something or not do something that worked as a safety mechanism back then, but it's not working anymore. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's holding you back. And so I'm bringing this 9-part series to my carnivore channel because carnivores have problems that carnivore can't solve. And emotional alignment might be your best bet. And I'm looking for volunteers currently to be filmed, as well as normal clients who don't want to be filmed and would rather pay for their session. Either way. And I'm also building a life coaching and personal development channel called School of Self. So please don't consider that your problems are not big enough to warrant emotional alignment life coaching. They're not too big, they're not too small, they're not too anything. If they're problems and they're there to be solved. You have a zero tolerance policy for anxiety and you have a few hurdles that you can't just can't figure out how to jump over, you keep slamming into them. Send me an email. Ask me a question. Find out what this is all about. Come and spend some time. Let me film you and it won't cost you a thing. I really am determined to help as many people as possible, and carnivores are great people, and I'm a carnivore and I'm great people. So I'm sharing this series here because my first brave emotional alignment life coaching client who agreed to be filmed is carnivore.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.
Welcome back to episode 6 of our 9-part series on emotional alignment using Virginia's emotional alignment life coaching session. So far, we've identified the problem, we've worked out the environment that problem is sitting in. We have talked about conscious beliefs and subconscious beliefs. We've talked about belonging versus autonomy. If you're interested in any of those topics, you need to go and watch those episodes. Right now, we're about to go deeper. We're about to go much more emotional because we're getting closer to where the source of the problem is. And that's where things get wobbly for the client. My role as a life coach, as an emotional alignment life coach, is to provide a very, very stable environment, emotionally stable and solid environment, so that the client can wobble and not feel unstable. This is why sometimes when you're having an emotional misalignment issue and you're trying to deal with it on your own, you can't go too deep with it because you don't have the emotional stability. You don't have what comes with emotional alignment, which is this foundational stability. Therefore, once you rock the boat and you wobble too much, it becomes a situation of fearfulness. You feel like you've lost your footing in life. And so the result is, if you don't have access to an emotional alignment coach or another service similar that will provide you that solid foundation as you work through things, if you don't have that, then you're likely to just palm it off or blame someone else, sweep it under the carpet, whatever your method is, but you won't actually achieve alignment. Emotional alignment is so important because it helps you to stand alone. It helps you to be connected in relationship with other people and not feel vulnerable. And this has been very, very important in my life. This is why I developed my method of emotional alignment life coaching. I didn't develop it for you, I developed it for me so that I could create a strong and solid foundation within myself so that I could easily walk through life rather than with a struggle all the time. In this episode, episode 6, we're going to hear from Virginia about this troubling situation that her son has had to live through for his entire now 30 years. And we come to a very, very important point, a very important question that I asked Virginia that will then allude to where our next episode is going. Listen in, find out what I ended up asking her.
Um,
Are they the same age or you both got them at the same time?
we got them at the same time. They're a year apart.
Are they
Our
siblings?
boy was, they're half siblings. They weren't
Oh.
raised together. They
Oh,
lived
so
in
they
different
have a
foster homes.
biological parent in common
Yes,
and one not in common, and
yes.
they came to you at the same time. So you had two new babies at the same time. And how old were
But
they?
4 years and 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
they'd been in foster care their entire life, pretty much. But not together, only for a very short time together. So they didn't really know each other either.
Mostly separately. Mm.
Very much so, yeah.
So they were getting to know each other and you were getting to know them.
Yeah.
And everyone
Yeah.
was it was all a big jumble until it wasn't anymore. Yeah.
It
And
was
so
very
just describe to
difficult.
me what thoughts you had in the
Well, my overriding thoughts were um if they had had a better start in life, and then they wouldn't have it would be better. It was really, really, really difficult, especially with our son. And they were the reason they weren't together, they couldn't be together, was that he was very aggressive, particularly toward her. So that's
Is he the younger one or the older one?
He's the older one.
Son.
He was a year older, and he was just very
angry,
very aggressive, very, very angry, really hurt. He has, and I have to back up a little because I don't currently have a relationship with my son.
Okay.
I haven't for about I think 4 years. And I love him very much, and I really hope something. I hope he can somehow meet someone like you
Yeah.
who can help him, because he really really needs help, and
Yeah.
I fear for his life and for
Mm.
people's lives who he's in. He's a real
He's still
really hurt
really
person.
angry. He's angry and he's hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very much so.
Mm.
So there is that, and even as a small, just a little 5-year-old, he had such rage. And I did think, if you're not, yeah, if we had him when he was a baby, maybe this wouldn't be happening. And I know that can happen to anyone, whether you're adopted or whether you've been in foster care or not.
Yes.
I know all of
But
those things reasons
that's
they
your
can happen,
logic.
but
That's your logical mind talking about that.
yeah, right.
So what I want to know
I
is I want to know the little voice that was hammering at you, talking to you about if I was his biological parent, I could help more, or something would be different. So
yes,
what
yes,
if it's I understand that if you had him from when he was a baby and he wasn't in foster care for 5 years before you had him, he wouldn't be as angry. He would from right from the beginning, he would feel the love from you and he would
right,
be safe and secure. But he spent the most formative years in an unsafe, insecure environment, and he hasn't been able to get past that, no matter how much love
right,
you've given to him.
right.
What I want to know is whether the voice in your head was true or not. Because things weren't going easily, the relationship was rough. I need to know what was that little voice saying about the difference between you being his biological mother or not being his biological mother. I need to know how it's been embedded in you. If I was his biological mother,
If I was his biological mother, I wouldn't have let this happen.
mm,
Is that I
go on.
I would have been there for him. I I would have He would have felt secure. I would have ensured that he felt secure as a baby and as a toddler. I would have taught him right from wrong and lying from not lying. And
Is this to do with being his biological mother or the time that you got him? Because
I think that has to do with the time I got him. I'm not getting it. Not
okay, so if you were his biological mother, even now, if you were his biological mother,
okay.
is there something in your subconscious that if you were his biological mother, you could help him more, no matter what
No.
he's been through? Keep talking, because there's something in there. Tell me about the
There's
fears.
sorry.
All right,
There's
tell me.
nothing I do. There's nothing I could do right now, even if I was his biological mother. Right now, today, there's nothing that I don't think there's anything in my power that I could do to help him
Mm.
right now.
Do you, do
I
you,
don't believe that.
do you feel that you should be able to do more for him?
I I feel like when he was little, I should have. Yes.
And so how much do you blame yourself
A
for
lot.
Tell me why. Guilt and blame and shame, they're very common, aren't they? We all have these feelings. I believe most of it comes from assuming that you're to blame because you have no other solution. You have no other explanation, so it must be you. Children do this when they're young, and when a person is in a very vulnerable situation, similar to when they're a child, they're also going to perhaps blame themselves. This is why emotional alignment assists you in this emotional growing process so that you can see things cleanly and clearly and see them for what they are and not assume blame on yourself all the time. Or if you're in the habit of sending blame towards someone else, not needing to do that habitually, but being able to see things exactly how they are and assess them in that manner. The next episode, we are going to delve into the details of the self blame, and that might be something that you're interested in. So, subscribe and like and click the notification bell, and you won't miss an episode. If you're interested in putting your hand up to be a filmed emotional alignment client, please email me.
I'm so grateful to you, Joanna. What you do is so valuable. It's life-changing.
Sweeteners, maybe coffee. Yeah, coffee. I'm going to try to get help getting off coffee. I can't wait for a reply.